My January TBR is absolutely out of control, which should come as a shock to absolutely no one. So let's do a little 48-hour readathon and see how many of these books we can get through. Hey y'all, it's Sam. So I thought for this 48-hour readathon we could do something a little bit different. I take a lot of inspiration from Stephanie's Bookverse. I love her TBR game. That's actually where I got the inspiration to make my own TBR game, and I love her mini TBR game that she does for 48-hour readathons. I can't really think of a way to make my TBR game into a miniature version because it is based off of a calendar. Even if you make a smaller board, there's still going to be the same number of spots. So I decided to just do a little coffee mug. I put the titles of all of the books on my monthly TBR in here, and I'm just gonna pick them out, and that's the order that I have to read them in. I don't like being told what to read, so I don't know if I'm gonna like this or hate it, but we're gonna try it and see. So to start off, there are a few books that I did not put in this jar, namely this stack plus the next book in the Wayward Children series, which is, I don't own it yet. The reason that one's not on is because I don't own it yet. It does not actually come out until January 9th. These two I have as audiobooks, and I kind of want to save my two audiobooks for like throughout the month, when I'm kind of like need a break from physical reading. I want to like listen to something and just chill, so I'm kind of saving those. And then these two are buddy reads, and I actually cannot start those yet, so those are not on the list. But these are all of the books that could come out of the jar, and I am excited about all of them. There are definitely some that I want to read more than others, and a couple that it's not that I don't want to read them, it's that I'm a little bit nervous to read them. I should also explain that it is not technically January yet. It's only December 30th, but it's like almost 6 o'clock in the evening, so it's almost the 31st, and I'm off work. Like, that's the whole reason I'm doing this right now, is because I don't have to go back to work until Wednesday, but I'm gonna need Tuesday to like get my life back in order before I go back to work, so I figured this will end like Monday night and that'll be perfect. So yes, I'm aware that it's not technically January yet, and I'm reading January's TBR. We're just gonna pretend that it's close enough. My TBR is big enough that giving myself 1.2 extra days, it's really not that big a deal. So like I said, it is 5:45, so by the time I get all of this done and, you know, get my life together and sit down, it's probably gonna be 6 o'clock. So let's say that we're starting this for 6 o'clock, and it will go until 6 o'clock Monday evening. I feel like that's a good amount of time because I can still stay up for a few hours, you know, a good amount of hours tonight. I might even be able to finish a book tonight. We'll see. But here is my coffee mug with little bees on it, and here are all of my little prompts. I did put Ledge and Chasm on one sticky note, and I also wrote how many pages are in each book because my original plan was to read them in order of smallest to longest, and then I abandoned that plan, but I did not take the sticky notes off. But I put Ledge and Chasm on one sticky note because if I read Ledge, I'm gonna also read Chasm like immediately after, because I know it's a cliffhanger, and it's also like that's the whole reason they're both on my TBR. Alright, let's see what I get. I am a little bit nervous about what I could get out of here, just because like I don't really have any big books on this stack, but I do have a couple intimidating reads for other reasons. If I have to read It Ends With Us as my very first read of 2024, I might cry. And I don't really want to start with Ledge and Chasm just because I don't want to start with two books at once. But I think I would be okay with anything else. Okay. Here we go. I can't read it backwards. No one can know. Okay. Okay, I mean, alright, so this is going to be my first read of 2024. This is a thriller, and it is by Kate Alice Marshall. We are following one of three sisters, and she has just found out that she's pregnant, and her husband just lost his job, and she has no choice but to go back to the house where her parents were murdered, because she and her sister still own it, and I guess it's all she's got left. No one really knows what happened. Like, she's never told anybody what she saw, whatever that may be. She was a suspect at one point. Now that she's back at the house, like, more secrets are being revealed, and her sisters come back, and lots of, like, family drama, I'm thinking. and even like a little haunted house vibe I'm getting, but I don't know. I don't know. If it is like a haunted house vibe, I am all for it, but I also just really like a good family drama thriller, so I think this is not a bad book to start with. I am excited. Let's go read it.
I'm no good at making small talk, but do you mind if I sit down? Indiana was a long shot, and
it is now just before 9:30 and I finished No One Can Know, and I have mixed feelings. I enjoyed it, but I was also kind of disappointed by it. I mean, it was good. I enjoyed it while I was reading it, but it's not something I would reread. And I'm not really sure it's something that I would necessarily recommend. So I think I'm gonna stick around the 3-star range, maybe 3.5 stars, because I did enjoy it. I mean, there were twists, but like, not like good twists. Like, there were things that I didn't necessarily see coming, but also wasn't surprised by, if that makes sense. So first of all, we are actually following all 3 sisters, so we've got multiple points of view, and we're following a dual timeline for each sister, both the past and the present. So there's a lot going on time-wise, but not a lot going on plot-wise, and I think that's where I really struggled, is we have 3 different points of view and 2 different timelines, which essentially makes 6 different points of view. And this book is just not long enough for that. Like, we would go, like, nothing happened in this book until, like, well over halfway through. Because we were just switching between all the sisters and between the time periods, and there was just so much switching happening that there was never enough time for anything to happen. So, yeah. It wasn't my favorite thriller, but it wasn't a bad thriller by any means. Like, I did enjoy it while I was reading it. I just wanted more from it. I wanted it to be a little bit more shocking. And it just wasn't. Like, I mean, there were twists, but they weren't twists that I couldn't guess. There was one thing that I was kind of like, oh, I didn't see that coming. Everything else I figured out pretty quickly. You know, I had a few different theories going on in my brain. I wasn't really sure which ending we were going to have, but I did know it would be one of my theories, and it was. I don't know. It wasn't bad. I did like it, but it wasn't great either. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Alright, so that's not a super disappointing read, but not like a 5-star read. So I'm kind of hoping the next one's gonna be better. But I am not going to finish another book tonight. That's just not going to happen. I do not stay up all night during these readathons because I value my health. But I am going to start another book tonight, I think. So let's see what the jar gives me. We still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things that could come out of here. I don't think there's anything that I would be overly mad about getting. I'm not sure that I want Tress of the Emerald Sea yet. I just feel like that might take me longer. I don't know. We'll see. Alright. Okay. The Unmaking of June. So we are sticking with similar genre, and I'm not mad about that, like, at all, actually. This probably would have been my first pick if I had been picking, because I am really excited about this one. In this book, we are following June Farrow, and she lives in a small town in North Carolina, and her family is basically cursed and has been for a while. Her mom, like, went mad and disappeared, like, a long time ago, and she was raised by her grandmother. And now she's an adult and she has started like seeing things and hearing things, and there's this door that she's not really sure if it's real or not. And then I guess her grandmother dies and she starts getting all of these like cryptic clues about her mother's disappearance, and then that door starts appearing more, and I guess she can go through it, or like she touches it or something about this door, and that's where I'm getting the magical realism vibes from. I'm just really excited for this one, so I'm definitely going to start it tonight. I definitely won't finish it, but I mean, it's not that long. It's only like 317 pages, not very many pages, so it won't take me very long. I don't know, I'm really excited for this one, so I feel like this is a really good second pick, and I'm hoping, I have hopes of a 5-star with this one. Her other book, Spells for Forgetting, that was a 5-star read for me, so I get really similar vibes with this one, so I mean, there's potential here. There is potential.
I don't mean to be too bold. No, it's not at all like me. But when you're making your way home,
Alright, it is about 10:30 the next morning, and I finished the Unmaking of June like half an hour ago, and I loved it. I really enjoyed this, actually. It's nothing like I expected. Like, it did not go in the direction I was expecting at all, but it wasn't a bad direction. Like, I very much enjoyed the direction it went in. It did have very similar vibes to Spells for Forgetting. I still think I liked Spells for Forgetting just like a little bit more. Like, Spells for Forgetting was for sure a 5-star. I feel like this is like a 4-star for me. I really, really enjoyed it, but it didn't quite make like new favorite. And I really can't say a whole lot about it without giving things away. There were definitely twists. Twists I did not see coming, which is always a good thing. Basically, it's like a thriller with some magical realism to it, which is one of my favorite kinds of like fantasy or thriller books. I love it when you mash the two things together. And I think it did it really well. There were a few moments that dragged a little bit, but not too bad, honestly. And I feel like I could sit here and like come up with little nitpicky things for why I didn't give it a 5-star and why I'm sticking with a 4-star, but I don't really think any of them really matter. Like, I think this is a good book. I think other people would enjoy this book. I would recommend this book. It just didn't make top favorite, but I did thoroughly enjoy it, and I would probably read it again in like 10 years when I've forgotten everything. I don't think it would be as fun of a reread if you already know. I don't know. Then again, it might be. It might be interesting to pick up on all the little breadcrumbs that you didn't pick up on the first time. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to reread it sooner than 10 years. Alright, let's see what's gonna be next. I think I'll be okay with anything, honestly. I don't care. Just give me a book. Well, I mean, I gotta read it at some point. It is on the TBR. I do have to read it. And I'm the one who put it on the TBR, so like, I don't really have much of an excuse there. Alright. The next book that I got is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I don't know what this book is about, actually. I'm fairly confident there's like abuse in there, is what I've heard. I know it's supposed to be a romance. I don't know. I don't know that I want to know. I'm very scared. It's a brave and heartbreaking novel. Oh, cool. My favorite. Okay, so we're just gonna do it. We're gonna do it, and it's gonna be fine, and it's gonna be okay.
some company is all. I'm tired of sleeping on my own, and oh, I've such a long way to go, and you remind me of somebody I know. Can I stay with you?
So it's 12:30. I did not finish this. I don't think I can finish this. I got 58 pages in, and it is so bad. So bad. And y'all know, if you know me, you know that I'm willing to overlook a lot of things for a book. this is just cringy. I can't do it. I was cringing the entire time. And not even in like a cute, gonna overlook it for a cute story. No. It's not good writing, and it's not a good story either. And I don't like any of the characters, and I'm just not having a good time. And I thought I would at least enjoy reading it, even if I knew it was probably going to break me by the end. I'm not even enjoying that, and I don't think it's gonna break me at the end. I think it's just gonna annoy me. So I think I'm gonna DNF it, honestly. I just don't think this is for me. I don't think Colleen Hoover is for me, and I kind of knew that and have known that, but I had 2 people tell me to give it a shot. So I did. And now I gave it a shot, and it is not for me, and that's okay. So that one's a DNF, but you know what? It's still another book off my TBR. It counts. I read 58 pages of it, decided it was not for me. We're gonna move on. So let's see what's next. We actually don't have that many more books to choose from. We only have 4 more things in there because these are 1. So this is kind of what we're looking at that's left. And anything's going to be better than what I just tried to read, so I'll take whatever it wants to give me. Alright, let's see what's next. Oh, okay, A Dowry of Blood. Okay. Actually, okay. Alright, so the next book that I pulled was A Dowry of Blood. This is a Dracula retelling type of thing, specifically revolving around his first bride, and I know absolutely nothing about Dracula or his first bride, or even the fact that he had more than one bride. I did not know that. And I'm also pretty sure this is told in like letter format, so I think it's gonna be a pretty quick read. But I also just got off the waiting list on Libby for the audiobook of this. And that might not be a bad idea because it's really short. It's only 299 pages, and since it's written in letter format, the chapters are really short. The audiobook is only like 5 hours, and I listen to things at double or triple speed depending on the book. So I could fly through that really quickly, and I could get the laundry done while also still making progress in this readathon. So that is not a bad idea at all, actually. I don't know how excited I am about this one. I don't know how I feel about a Dracula retelling. I've never read one. I've never really had any interest in one. I still don't really have much interest in one, but I've heard good things about it. I have not heard any bad things about it yet. So we're gonna give it a shot, and I do think I'm gonna at least listen to part of it as an audiobook because I do really want to get that laundry done, and I'm kind of tired of like sitting at this point because I sat and read this morning, and then I sat and watched church, and then I sat and tried to read It Ends With Us, and I kind of want to like get up and do something. So I might start this one as an audio, and then maybe I'll finish it physically. We'll see. I really hesitated to do this because I didn't want to DNF 2 books in one reading vlog, especially within like, I mean, this is only 48 hours of my life, but I am gonna DNF A Dowry of Blood. I made it a lot further in this one. I got to about 35%. It's just not for me. I mean, I can see where some people would like it. Like, I can definitely see why people like it, but it's not working for me. I don't like the characters. I don't care about the storyline. It might be the letter format's not working for me either. I just don't like where it started. I don't like where it's going. I don't like where we're at now. I'm not enjoying it, and 2024 is supposed to be the year of me enjoying books. So if I'm not enjoying it, I am not gonna sit here and force myself to finish it just for this video. I'm just not. So 2 DNFs in one day, one vlog, back to back. That's a new record for me, but I've always been a pretty good DNFer. I do not force myself to finish books I don't like, and that might be the ADHD in me. If it's not holding my attention, I'm gonna get bored and I'm gonna leave it alone, and it is what it is. So, moving right along, we've only got 3 more things that could come out of here, and I really hope there's a good one. I don't know, I don't really care at this point. I'm not sure that I want Love Theoretically, because I think, you know, I've read 2 contemporary things, tried to read a third, DNF'd it, and then I tried to read more of like a historical thing, didn't like that. So I think I'm ready for some fantasy in there. But like, I won't be mad if it's Love Theoretically. Like, it'll be okay. Okay. Okay, I mean, I did say I wouldn't be mad, so I won't be mad. At least I'm, like, fairly confident I'm gonna enjoy this one. I've never not liked one of Allie Hazelwood's books. This book follows Elsie, and she is a theoretical physicist and also has her own business as a fake girlfriend, which sounds fun. And she's an adjunct professor, but she wants tenure, and the older brother of one of her clients works at MIT, which is her dream job, but he hates her. So we're getting like fake dating, enemies to lovers, but like not the same thing together, I guess. I don't know. I am intrigued. I do want to read it. I don't know how much more contemporary anything I can take right now, but we're gonna give it a shot. And you know, I've never not liked one of her books, so this can't go wrong, honestly.
Me down some. When a smoke-filled dark comes too close, and it's these moments where my mind runs from the emptiness of open roads, and oh, I'm tired of sleeping on my own. Oh, I've such a long way to go.
It took me way longer to read this than it should have, like, way longer. It is, what time is it? I don't even know. It is 6:50, so almost 7 o'clock, and I started this at like 1:30, maybe 2. So it took a while. I liked it. I did enjoy it. You know, it's very similar to some of her other books. I felt like this one was a little bit more academic than the others. Like, this one just, the romance felt more like a side plot, which is kind of different in like a romance novel. But I did enjoy it. I liked the characters. The romance was cute. Wasn't a new favorite by any means. I do think I like both of her other books better than this one, but I still enjoyed it. So solid 4-star there. And I am tired. It is New Year's Eve, actually. We have 0 plans or intentions of doing anything. I do not even intend to stay up until midnight. If I do, great. If I don't, cool. I haven't seen midnight in, I don't think I stayed up last year, so probably 2 or 3 years. Yeah, I don't care. But I am hitting a little bit of a wall. I would say that a 48-hour readathon was probably not my best idea coming out of burnout, but here we are, which is why it took me so long to read that last one. Like, it truly took me a while, but we still have like 22 hours left of this. So at this point I have read 3 complete books and DNF'd 2. So I have crossed 5 books off of my TBR, and that is intense progress. Like, I am very happy with that. So I will not be mad if I don't finish another book, or if I only finish one. Like, I'm cool with whatever happens from here. So I think what I'm gonna do is I am gonna draw the next book, and then I think I might actually take a little break, and just like maybe play a Switch game or something cozy that doesn't take as much brain power. I still want to read. Like, I'm still in the mood to read, but it's been a while since I've binge read like this, and I am a little bit out of practice, and my brain is tired. So we're just gonna take it slow from here, and it's gonna be okay. But there's really only 2 more things we could draw out of this. So we're either gonna be reading Trust of the Emerald Sea, or we're gonna be reading Legend Chaos. Chasm, not Chaos. Ledge and Chasm. So I'm cool with either one. I feel like Ledge is going to be a quicker read, but that also comes with me also having to read Chasm. So I don't know, but I'll be okay with either one. Is that upside down? Yeah. Ledge and Chasm. Okay. I'm not mad about that. But next up we have the first 2 books of the Glacial Trilogy, because the third one is not out yet. And I have not read the second one yet, but this one is a reread. And I do remember it being a fairly quick read, plus it's only 276 pages, so like it's real short. This follows our main character, Dawson, and she lives literally on like a ledge. Like you've got like a cliff on one side and a giant chasm on the other side, and her people can't leave this ledge, but every year they have to like present themselves as a human sacrifice to these Glacian people that are, like have wings. And Dawson is super unlucky and she is chosen as one of the sacrifices this year, and she's really not sure what happens from there when they take her to their kingdom or whatever, but she meets a half Glacian who is willing to help them both escape, and it kind of goes from there. It's a very, very typical fantasy romance. I have read this before and it's not really doing anything new, but it's also not doing anything wrong. Like, I thoroughly enjoy this. If you enjoy fantasy romance, you will probably also thoroughly enjoy this. So I am gonna go read it now, probably. I still might take a break, but I'm gonna eventually go read this.
And you remind me of somebody I know. Can I stay with you a while? Come tomorrow, I'll be gone again. So don't ask me for much. I'm no good at keeping promises. I promise this is enough. And oh, I'm tired of sleeping on my own. Oh, it's such a goddamn.
Okay, so here's the thing. It is like 2:45 on Monday, and I am 115 pages into Ledge. So I'm definitely not going to finish this and Chasm before the end of today, before 6. It's just not going to happen. I have thoughts. And I was trying to wait until I finished the book to share the thoughts, especially because this is a reread, so like I've already given thoughts on this book, but I feel like I may have different thoughts. So here's the thing. This is a fantasy romance, but it's not a very good one. But it's not necessarily a terrible one either. It's just okay. However, coming off of reading Throne of Glass and ACOTAR, this happened to me the very first time I ever read ACOTAR. I loved it so much and it did everything just like perfectly for me that the next book I read, I hated. That was Red Queen. I didn't even finish that book. I will never finish that series because it just could not compare. And I feel like this was a really bad time to try and read Ledge. Because I liked it the first time that I read it, and I don't like it this time at all. And I think a lot of that is because I am still living in ACOTAR in my head. ACOTAR does everything right for a fantasy romance for me. I recognize some people don't like ACOTAR. That's perfectly fine. But that has everything that I want in a fantasy romance. This book, again, it's not really doing anything bad. It's just missing things. It's got a lot of the pieces of a traditional fantasy romance. It's just missing that extra level of stakes. I'm thinking that's what it is like just the stakes are not high enough, and it's too short to really dig deep enough. Like, we don't get very much world building here. The romance is very insta-lovey, and it's just too short to really explore all of the things that it needs to explore. And it's not a bad book. I am intending to finish it, but I'm not going to finish it today because I can't read more of this right now. I just can't. And I do still want to finish it, and I do want to read Chasm. Like, it's not a bad book. I might drop my rating from 4 stars to 3 stars, but I do still want to finish it. But I think I need to put some distance between ACOTAR and trying to finish this, so I might just soft DNF this for now and read it a little bit later in the month after I've read some other things to kind of cleanse the palette. I thought there was going to be enough space between, since I read like 3 other books in between, and there just wasn't, and I think I just need the time, not so much the number of books in between, so I think we just need to put this down for now. I'm also not going to start another book in this vlog. I am going to end this vlog here because I am tired and I don't want to burn myself out again, and I just don't want to read right now. So I probably should have done a 24-hour readathon instead of a 48. That's my bad. I jumped in with both feet and I need to stop doing that. So I think this will be the last 48-hour readathon I attempt. I think 24 hours is a good spot for me. Any longer than that and I start to go crazy. So let's recap real quick what I did read / attempt to read in this vlog. So we started with No One Can Know, which was a thriller. I gave it 3 stars. Okay, not my favorite, but not bad either. Then we moved on to The Unmaking of June, which was much better. Not quite a 5-star, solid 4-star. I liked her other adult magical realism book better, but this one was solid. Then we attempted to read It Ends With Us. That was next, right? I think. I hated this. I have no good things to say about this. I hated the characters. I hated the plot. The writing was driving me insane. I literally could not even get past page 58. So that one was a no. Then we attempted A Dowry of Blood, which was supposed to be an audiobook. Nah, not for me. I can recognize where people would like it, but it's just not for me. Did not enjoy this at all. So made it 30% in, quit that. Then we read Love Theoretically, which I actually did enjoy. I gave this a 4-star. I did like, again, her other books better than this one. It has been my least favorite so far, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. Solid 4-star. And then we read slightly less than half of Ledge. And we all know where that one ended up. So the stack of books that I am counting as like off my TBR, I've either finished it or I am not intending to finish it, are these. And I think that that is pretty good progress for it being January 1st. So I am not mad about that at all. I completed 3 books. I got halfway through another one that I am intending to complete, and I DNF'd 2. So that is 5 books completely off my TBR, and 1 that I'm halfway through. So we're making good progress for January. So if you are interested in seeing me read the rest of January's TBR, or as much of it as I can, stick around for the next vlog, and I will see y'all later. Bye!